Yahshua HaMashiach vive. Yahshua HaMashiach vive. Aleluya. 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 Legalela al Eterno aquí. Bendito es el Abacadosh.
Blessed is the Avakadosh. It's good that you're here, brothers, sisters, Ahim, friends. Please take a seat. Welcome, all of you. This is the Messianic Congregation.
Es una congregación mesiánica, Meshihi. Nosotros creemos en Yahshua como el
We believe in
Mashiach.
Yahshua as the Messiah, and it is like that. Well, today I'm going to share a message with you so you can announce it. It's a message that has to do with the eclipse that is going to happen December 26th. The title of the teaching is A Clear Message from Heaven. A clear message from heaven so you can announce it, beloved brothers. Saturday, 4 p.m., I also want to share with you a very interesting teaching. I titled it Free or Prisoner. Free or Prisoner. Saturday, 4 p.m. And of course, we're going to see each other on Friday if the Eternal Father Yahweh allows us to at 6 p.m., 15 before 6. Well, remember that the pagan feasts of Christmas and Roman New Year's are about to arrive, so there's a lot of material in other teachings and videos in other languages, including English, of course, so you can see why we don't celebrate Christmas and Roman New Year's. And there I count when Yahshua HaMashiach was born, when was Yahshua born in this earth. So don't stay home, by the way. We invite you, the brothers and I, we invite you for December 20 and 21st, December 27 and 28th. Come and keep the Shabbat, and even during January, of course. And you can download all the material. Download it from now, brothers, because time is very short. Download it. All the videos are in the YouTube channel Shalom 132 and in the website jmps.mx. We have different books as well there. The links are there. So download everything, brothers. Everything. Pesach, April 8th, 2020. And I'm saying this date, just this one, and of course at the feast lasts 8 days. And if the Eternal Father allows us to, April 11, we're going to go into the Palacios of the congregation to dance to the Eternal Father till the early morning, if He allows us to. There's a title, a YouTube channel titled JMP's TV. There you can see many videos every day, 24 hours a day, 360 days of the Hebrew year. And well, if you want a prayer for healiness or you want to learn from the Holy Torah, of course, I'm here on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. with a group of brothers and sisters to serve you. Wednesdays at 4 p.m. And well, December 21st, there's going to be baptisms, tevilot. If you believe in Yahshua, what doesn't let you? Just like the eunuch said, come and get a baptism in the name of Yahshua. Saturday, December 21st, and that same day is also going to be the exam of the congregation GMPs local and worldwide. The teaching is Keys for Happiness, Keys to Happiness. And I'm going to say Friday, December 27th, is going to be Rosh Chodesh. December 27th is going to be Rosh Chodesh. And we'll announce it. I'm going to give the message shortly. First, I'm going to turn on the incense. A clear message from heaven. You're going to see how interesting. We're going to see very interesting things. So let's all stand up and we're going to turn on the incense. I'm going to turn on the incense in the representation of all the beloved elders from this congregation, the brothers that are Adontokeas, all the brothers and sisters from this congregation, GMPs local and worldwide. Beloved Father, you are good. We came to this holy place that you've given us to praise you. We ask you to keep on mind our prayers, just like this incense, everlasting Father, the one we offer to you. An aromatic incense, everlasting Father. Receive it, please, is for you. And I say again, Abba, may it go up as prayers. And may it is a pleasant smell. Blessed are you, Yahshua HaMashiach. Hallelujah, beloved of Him. Hallelujah, brothers, sisters, everyone. This is what the Eternal Father is pleased with. that we do things with love, with strength, with all our heart. I'm going to make a prayer and we're going to go completely into the teaching that is very important. I'm going to pray, Abba Kadosh, talk to us through your holy Ruach HaKodesh, shut any spirit that doesn't exalt your holy name. We only want to hear your precious voice. Thank you so much, Joshua, our Messiah. Amen. Amen. Your servant, please take a seat. Brothers, your servant, Dr. Javier Palacios Celorio, Roeh from the ECLIPSE in Tehuacan, Pueblo, Mexico. Right now are appearing on your screen all of our websites that you can check. There's videos, audios, study notes that you can download, copy, and give away. Do it with all trust. In this congregation, we do not do business with the word of the Almighty. We're going to see this teaching that I titled, A Message, Clear Message from Heaven. And it's a very important message. Blessed is the name of Yahweh. This next December 26th, today is December 11, 2019 Gregorian years. And I'm going to start the teaching of a clear message from heaven. December 26th, there's going to be an annular eclipse. It's called, to see like that, also a ring of fire. In Genesis, chapter 1, verse 14, says that Elohim, the King Almighty, made heaven and earth from verse 1, but in verse 14 says that he made the sun and the moon, some beautiful shine, for signs of times, Moadim. And we've also known that as feasts, to say it like that. So the Eternal Father made the sun and the moon, yes, of course, to shine, of course, and for the moon to give its reflection, and so we could be able to see at night, but also he set them up as signs. Now, in the eclipse of December 26, the moon is going to be closer to the earth. So therefore, it doesn't completely cover the sun in a way that you can see around it a ring of fire. So, the thing of the eclipse, give me a second, brothers. Are we online? Because when you're going to put me aside, keep it still, because I'm looking to another side. We're going to wait. May the Eternal Father bless you a lot. I'm the Dr. Javier Palacios Celorio, Roeh from the ECLIPSE in Tehuacan, Pueblo, Mexico. Well, I'm going to give the message, clear message from heaven. That's today's title teaching, a clear message from heaven. I said that it is an annular eclipse this December 26, and is also known as the Ring of Fire. In Bereshit, Genesis, chapter 1, verse 14, says that the Eternal Father made two lights, sun and the moon, to sign time. Today, the moon, in the case of this eclipse, December 26, 2019 Gregorian years, and I said that today is December 11. Some days are left for that day, so the moon is closer to the earth. That's why it doesn't cover the sun completely. So it's going to be seen a ring of fire around the moon. Now, what does a ring of fire specifically means? In the case of the Tanakh, we clearly catastrophes and disasters. Don't get scared. If you believe in the Eternal Father, nothing's going to happen. And I want to advise, or I want to clarify, this is not astrology. What we're going to talk about here is not astrology, it's astronomy. But first and foremost, first the Bible, the Word of the Almighty. This eclipse has a characteristic that is going to be in Asia. Now, there's this place that is called the O-R-M-U-Z, Ormuz. And that is a place, part of the sea, that is in between the Persian Gulf Sea and the Oman Sea. We're going to see some slides in between the Persian Sea and the Oman Sea. And through that place, the 30% of oil goes through it that is consumed every day in the world. 30% of the oil that is consumed every day in the world, petrol. It's huge, millions of gallons of petrol. Now, the oil market is in places of the Middle East. There's also oil in Venezuela, Mexico, United States, and many other countries, but the oil market is in that zone where the eclipse is going to go through, where the eclipse is going to happen. Now, if that place gets blocked, the Hormuz Strait, the economy would go down, not only of that area of the world, but the whole world. Just to start, if the Hormuz place gets blocked, Iran's economy, please take note, Iran, the country, would go completely down. The price of the oil will go high. And the different products that come from oil, from petrol, just as well. They would go very high. Everything would go high, up to the clouds. China, that is a very important country, they buy the petrol, the oil from Iran. China buys petrol from Iran. Now, in the 80s, if you look for videos online in YouTube, you're going to find it. The war of petrol. Indeed, there was a war in between Iraq and Iran. Well, and that's important for us to keep it in mind just as a fact because of everything that I'm going to share with you today. So, at the east of the place of Hormuz, the countries, the Arab countries that have an alliance with United States, just like Saudi Arabia. And at the east, there's Iran. An enemy from Israel, attention, a lot of attention, and of course, an enemy of the United States, but we care that it's an enemy from Israel. Now, I repeat again, the eclipse is going to be an annular eclipse. It's going to be a ring of fire that is cold, and it is because the moon is closer to the earth. That's why we're going to be able to see a ring of fire. That is important to keep in mind. Now, something that I said, that here in the congregation, that for Israel, a military attack, preventive military attack against Iran is still an option. I'm not just saying that, but we're going to see that Israeli authorities, they are thinking about attacking Iran, but we're going to unfold all of this about the eclipse and all of those things, because everything has to do with the word of the Almighty. We're going to open our Bibles so we can see all of this. So, they say that they could attack Iran, the Israeli military authorities. They would say that they would attack before they have a nuclear weapon. But I think that they have more than one nuclear weapon. They just haven't used them because that would be their own destruction. Now, let's remember that Iran attacked in September, this 2019 Gregorian year, 2 oil places of Saudi Arabia. That is a war there. And the Eternal Father is going to make that explode. And the sign is the eclipse of this December 26. Now, Iran is trying to attack the countries of the Persian Gulf. If you remember, in 1991, when Saddam Hussein, in that time, the president, to say like that, of Iraq, attacked Kuwait, and then George Bush father was there when the war started there. It was a terrible war, brothers, terrible. So, all of that is beating, still beating. Now, Iran has said that they can reach Germany, France, and the UK, Great Britain, through missiles of a very long distance. Let's make a stop here. What is Yahweh's, Yahshua HaMashiach's strategy against those Israel enemies? Yes, exactly. It's for them to attack each other, to get confused. We have that example, for example, in Joshua, in the book of Judges, in 1st and 2nd of Samuel, etc., etc., etc. So, everything is ready. So the Eternal Father, through this eclipse, is going to give the sign, and we can see how everything is going to get unfolded in 2020 Gregorian years. I said that the the minister of relationships of Israel, his last name is Katz, K-A-T-Z. He said in Italy a few days ago that is still an option that Israel would attack military Iran if it's necessary to avoid them to get a nuclear weapon. So we're talking about big things. On the other hand, let's leave aside that military tension. But on the other hand, we have that the world is full of violence. That's everywhere, casualties everywhere in the whole world, people that get shot, etc. Satanism everywhere, idolatry everywhere, sexual deprivation, and of all types everywhere. I'm going to show some photos of hybrids of a monkey and a pekra pork in China. Let's also remember the pact that the Pope Francis is going to make in May 14, 2020 in Rome. A educative pact? Is it for education? That has nothing to do with it, brothers. Remember the politic Babylon and the religious Babylon. Now, I analyzed a little bit deeper the video that we showed here about the Pact of 2020. And by the way, I will go slow. Please get pen and paper so we can take notes. I advise you that so you can understand all of these teachings that are, why not to say, of the last times, for you to check these videos again, or if you're a new one, welcome. Check these videos in the YouTube channel Shalom 132. The first one, Demon. There is where everything is going to start. The Third World War has to start there. And by the way, let's remember that the 144,000 sealed are going to be like that, sealed, or are already sealed. They are already sealed because they are to be protected mostly about what's coming. This is not something that I invented. We're going to see it. That's why it's so important for you to pay attention to the advice that I gave to you with all love and respect. Please check the videos, because if you don't, you're not going to understand with everything that else the Eternal Father is going to give us. Now let's open our Bibles in Jeremiah 49. There is what is going to start to happen. Let's open our Bible in Jeremiah chapter 49. It's very important. And verse 34, and I suggest you to underline it from verse 34 to verse 39. Please, I want all of you to have it. I don't want anyone to be just looking at their study notes. No, I want all of you to have it because it's very important. We're talking about the last times. Jeremiah 49, verse 34. I think that all of you have it. The word of Yahweh that came to Jeremiah the prophet against Elam. If you want to put there Iran, the country Iran. In the beginning of the reign of Zedekiah, king of Judah, saying, This said Yahweh of hosts, behold, I will break the bow of Elam. Please underline bow. Please underline Elam, the chief of their might. And upon Elam will I bring the four winds. Please, that's a fire, brothers. That's why it's the eclipse. This eclipse is a fire. And upon Elam, Iron, the four winds underline from the four quarters of heaven. And I will scatter them towards all those winds, and there shall not be a nation whither the outcasts of Elam shall not come. For I will cause Elam to be dismayed before their enemies and before them that seek their life. And I will bring evil upon them at my fierce anger, says Yahweh. And I will send a sword after them, that I will consume them, till I have consumed them. And I will set my throne in Elam. Please underline, and I will set my throne in Elam, and I will destroy further their king and princes, says Yahweh. And all verse 39, I would like to underline it all. But it shall come to pass in the latter days, the ones that are coming later, I will bring again the captivity of Elam, says Yahweh. Now, we're going to see that Elam means iron, the four winds. The four winds are angels. I explained that in the teaching about the 144,000. That's why I ask you. I'm saying it with love, but you have to look at those videos, because if not, you're not going to understand these of the last times and apology. What is eschatology? The study of the last times. So, the four winds, when it says in 36, and upon Elam, iron, will I bring the four winds. He's going to send four destroyer angels there. And those four angels are the ones that said to the nations, those are not the spirit of frogs of Revelation 16. No, these are angels that have a commandment from the Eternal Father, and then they are going to bring nations there. Now, if you look, I said Germany, England, Great Britain, and France. Those are the countries that have been threatened by iron. So without a doubt, these nations, plus the United States, are going to bombard Iran. Now, this is not something that I invented. You are seeing the word of the Almighty. Now, when it says that he will set his throne, there in verse 38 says, and I will set my throne in Elam. The throne of the Eternal Father is in third heaven, and he's going to put the throne in Jerusalem. But you might say, well, why does the Eternal Father says, I will set my throne in Elam, in Iran here? Well, to put his throne means to judge Iran, to judge Iran. Not even one nation has dared to say from many years ago, or since always, we're going to destroy Israel, that they are not going to be a nation anymore. Psalm 83. Only presidents and religious leaders, but they are truly those that command politically, not only religion, that is the Islam, but politically. So, when the Eternal Father says, I will set my throne, to put his throne is to judge Iran. He's going to bring justice upon Iran. When here it says, I will break the bow of Elam in 35. Behold, I will break the bow of Elam, is because the Elamites were very good when using the bow in the times of Jeremiah. But now, to break the bow means their bombs and their weapons in general. This prophecy, many say, this has been fulfilled from a long time ago. But no, we're going to see that this hasn't been fulfilled, and it has to be fulfilled in these upcoming days, these upcoming months. I don't think that is going to be years, brothers. So, to break the bow, nuclear weapons Iran has, so that they might have, but indeed they have a lot of thousands of missiles that can reach very far away. That's why they threatened Germany, England, and France. Now, at the same time, what's happening in Syria? We read what's Isaiah chapter 17 about Damascus, etc., but it's not what we're talking about today. So attention, in the heart of the ancient Elam, in the heart, in the center place, in the center of the ancient Elam, Iran, in the Persian Gulf, their nuclear reactor is there. A lot of attention to this. So I repeat again, in the heart of ancient Elam, that now is Iran, in the Persian Gulf, there is their nuclear reactor. So the eclipse is a sign that destruction is coming there. Now we've been broadcasting the blood moons, the super blood moons, other kind of eclipse, and we've seen how, we're going to see it with some other slides, we're going to see that when there's an eclipse, something happens there, where the place is. And indeed, when we broadcasted the eclipse that was going to go exactly through Chile, look at everything that is happening nowadays in Chile. Those are warnings from the Almighty. We are not crazy. It's the word of the Eternal Father. So, Many prophecies were partially fulfilled, but others haven't. For example, Nebuchadnezzar, he defeated Elamites in the year 596 before Jacob. Horsemen and Kieran covered the shield. So they were very good to use the bow. That's why here it says, I will break the bow of Elam. But here is not talking about a bow, but we're talking about, you remember when it says, but it shall come to the pass in the latter days that I will bring again the captivity of Elam, said Yahweh, I'm not the greatest. To say that the Elohim of Israel is the Almighty, just like Nebuchadnezzar declared it as well. So, not only the captivity of Elam, if we go to Jeremiah 48, there's also a judgment against Moab. But it's not the teaching today, but I just want to go to Jeremiah 48, verse 47. Chapter 48, verse 47 of Jeremiah. It's a little bit back. You just have to turn your pages. Do you have it? Yet will I bring again the captivity of Moab in the later days, says Yahweh. This far is the judgment of Moab. And then the judgment against Ammon comes. Concerning the Ammonites, this says Yahweh. And then he keeps saying the judgment. And in verse 6 says this. And afterward I will bring again the captivity of the children of Ammon, says Yahweh. Now, you might say, does that exist still? Yes, there is Ammon, Moab, just like House of Israel, even though it seems like no. But we are here now. What does this have to do with Elam? Well, I put it because of this. Because the Eternal Father, He doesn't want anyone to get lost, but everyone to proceed to repentance. So the ones that will go out running from that war in Aaron that is just right about the corner, is very close, the Eternal Father is going to allow them to come back, but He is going to cover them as the Almighty Father, because they are going to believe in Him, in the only living God, and the only living Elohim, the Elohim of Israel. And then, in the case, if you remember in Genesis, we're not going there, verse 19, 30 to 38, it tells about Lot. Okay, then, Moab and Ammon, to say it like that, they are children of Lot. The brother, son of Abraham. So he's going to allow the sons of Moab and the sons of Ammon. Look what we're saying. Look what we're saying, because it's in the Bible. They're going to go back. House of Israel, listen very well, beloved brothers from House of Israel. House of Israel doesn't have to boast, doesn't have to be proud. Just Israel, the House of Israel is going to come back. No, the Eternal Father is going to go get the children of Ammon, the children of Moab, for love to Abraham, his friend. Because of Lot, that was his niece. Do you remember the two daughters? They laid in bed with their father, a horrible sin, and then the Moabites, the Ammonites. So attention. May it not be that you are not careful, you sin, you don't keep well the Torah, and in your place a son of Ammon or a son of Moab comes. Please, a lot of attention in this. And I exhort you. To exhort doesn't mean to tell down or to scoff. I invite you to all of us to reflect, because many with their kippah, their talit, their tzitzit, they grow their beard and they say, I'm the greatest thing, I'm Israel, and that's it. No, be careful. Because the sons of Ammon are going to come back from those that are in the exile, from the sons of Moab and the sons of Ammon. So please, Kayla, humble, please humble. Now, I want to take you to Isaiah 11:11. Isaiah 11:11. So, blessed is your name, Abba Kadosh. Look how is here many Elamites, many ironies, and I want to comment this. We have brothers from JMPs in Iran. We ministered, we showed some photos here, brothers. Not the brothers, precious brothers from Africa. No, we also bless them, those that are in Africa. But we have brothers in Iran, in Elam. So you can see that we have to pray for them. And I would say to the brothers from Iran, get out. And you might say, but where? The Eternal Father, let's ask to the Ruach HaKodesh, because something very hard is coming. Isaiah 11:11 says, and it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall set his hand against the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left in Assyria, from Egypt, from Pathros, from Cush, from Elam, and Shinar and Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. He has people everywhere, brothers. That's why I've said it. We're not the only ones, nor the best ones. Now, I want to focus in the prophecies. 1. In the teaching about the 144,000 that you're going to check again, I talk about the 4 winds. The wind that comes from north, south, east, from the west, what do they mean, etc. Those are not normal winds, just like the air. No, those are angels. I explained that those are not winds, but they are angels to make judgment. Now, when you see the teaching about the 144,000, you're going to understand more things of what I'm sharing with you today with a lot of love and respect. The protection, when the Eternal Father sent the destroyer angel to Egypt for the firstborns, the protection was the blood, through the blood of the lamb that they put in the borders of their doors. The borders of the doors. That is in Exodus, you know about it. Now is the blood of Joshua HaMashiach in people. Pay attention. Only, precious brothers, sisters in the Eternal Father Joshua, only the restored are going to be sealed. Only the restored are going to be sealed. The Eternal Father cannot seal someone that doesn't keep his word. Someone that doesn't keep the Shabbat, that are uncircumcised of heart and of flesh, that they don't have the physical circumcision and they don't have the Brit Milah. Someone that doesn't keep the feast, someone that is not, because the Shabbat is a sign, commandment, and a sign, commandment, and covenant. 3 things. Those that break the Shabbat, they don't know what they are doing. Now, I said that only the restored are going to be sealed, and indeed, they are being sealed. Believing in Joshua HaMashiach, of course, in holiness, and I repeat, in all the covenants. Now let's go to Revelation 7. Let's go there. The Bible is perfect. It's completely perfect. We're going to see there, Revelation 7, from verse 1 and ahead. So this is a fire, brothers. That's why it's a ring of fire. That's the eclipse. Do you have Revelation 7? And after these things I saw 4 angels, Malachim, messengers, standing in the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth. That wind shall not blow upon the earth, nor the sea, nor any tree. Remember, there's angels from the Eternal Father and demons. So the Eternal Father sends his angels, good angels, to unfold the bad angels, to say it like that. Is this clear? 2. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living Elohim, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels. Here is to the 4 destroyers, to whom it was given to hurt. It was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of Or Elohim in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed. They were sealed 144,000 of the tribes of the children of Israel. That is house of Judah and house of Israel. Now let's go to Jeremiah, please. 49. 4 winds. Jeremiah 49, verse 36. When you have it, please just say an amen. And I will bring upon Elam, upon Iron, the four winds. That is Revelation, brothers. And the seal of the 144,000 happens before, because if not, then it would be destruction for the holy ones as well. That's why you, that you're a father, do all the commandments in all covenants. Remember, only the restored are going to be sealed, and your family is going to be saved in the holy name of Yahshua HaMashiach. But if you don't keep the Torah, be careful. Now, women in some way, they are going to be kept as well. Of course, don't worry, sister. Be calm. Now, here, when in Jeremiah 49:36 says, and upon Elam, Iron, will I bring the four winds from the four quarters of heaven, are the nations. It can be then France. It's very probable. England, without a doubt, because England are always with the United States. Indeed, England was part of the War of the Persian Gulf, and is probably that the United States is going to be part of it, and indeed Germany. And indeed they just had a meeting, Germany, France, and England, to see what they were going to do with Iran. Do you think that they said that they were going to give sweets to them? No. If someone is threatening you, hey, I'm going to send you a missile of one of them, a nuclear weapon, ends up with half of the country. So another thing that catches my attention about this prophecy, because we are seeing it like Elam, like Iran nowadays, is not announced the Torah, the word of the Eternal Father. And they don't keep the Torah, the word of the Eternal Father. The Eternal Father is going to allow, forgive the wretchedness, blessed is Yahweh. He's going to allow that war so Joshua's word can be fulfilled, because he says to the last place of the earth, the Torah will get there. So right now, there's a block there. The brothers that we have in Aaron, from Joy and Peace, blessed is the Kadosh, they have certain restrictions. They can't say it out loud that they believe in Yahshua HaMashiach and that they are Israelites, because they would have very serious problems against them, and will rebuke that in the name of Yahshua HaMashiach. So can the word be fulfilled? There has to be devastation. And that devastation, many ironies, I don't say that. The word says that in Jeremiah 49, they are going to go out running to the four parts of the earth, and that's going to be fulfilled. So that's why in 36 says, Jeremiah 49:36 says, and upon Elam will I bring the four winds from the four quarters of heaven. If you want, you can put Revelation 7 there, so you can know what we're talking about faster when you check your Bible again. So, to finish, before we see the slides, that is the announcement of the eclipse of December 26, 2019. Just like other eclipses I've said, supermoons, super blood moons, they've announced, the Almighty has announced that calamities, not blessings, calamities would go to certain parts of the world, just like this one that is going to go through there. What's the Bible's advice? What Yahshua's advice? The Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, the blood of the Almighty. One, to make a repentance. You've already made a repentance, but I'm referring to those that don't keep the Torah. You that you don't keep the Torah, yet make a repentance to live in holiness. And everyone, to ask for the compassion to the Almighty. We're going to see that many countries, we're going to see in the slides there, are about to go into recession, including Mexico, also Germany, etc. Practically, they have an economy of fiction, because they owe everything. And indeed, the country that owes the most is the United States of America. They have more debts. And it is what happens in someone, happens in a country, happens in the world. I put an example to you. It's just an example. Respecting everyone. In that way, if you see someone in the street and you say, hey, what you're wearing, have you paid for it? It's very probable that they would say that they haven't paid for it, including their underwear, without being irreverent. People pay everything with their cards, and they are in a debt. They are always having those debts. That doesn't have to be for the children of Israel. The Torah says that. You have to give. You don't have to ask for. Blessed is the Kadosh. That is in the Torah. So people, they haven't paid their car, their house, they want a bigger house, and they hypothec that. So that house, they get a debt with the bank. So everything is a fiction. So what happens in a person is happening in a country, and what's happening in a country is happening in all countries. So we have to ask for mercy to the Almighty without a doubt. Now, besides the videos that I just advise you to see, I advise you another video. It's very important. Those are two videos. The revelation of Isaiah. Please study, all of you brothers and you friends, watch those videos. We invite you. The revelation of Isaiah is Isaiah chapter 24, but so you can understand it, look for it, watch it in the YouTube channel Shalom 132 from GMP. It's the first part of it and the second part. Now, I will go down. I will go down from the altar so I can explain the slides. We're going to put down the screen. And well, let's keep in mind that the eclipse is December 26th. Remember everything that has been explained. The pact that the Pope is going to do, etc. All of that. In Israel, it's practically possible that they would go to the third election in a year. Because the Prime Minister, Netanyahu, he hasn't been able to put in a government. So the thing is something to be very careful with. They are very divided there. Blessed is the name of Yahweh. I'm going to go here. So this was the banner that we uploaded. I'll go here. The message, clear from heaven. It's a clear message from heaven. The Eternal Father is not putting in doubt. The ring of fire is going to be seen like this. This was taken in other eclipses. Let's start. The world is upside down. More hybrids in between animals, look, and animals. Now, it's Japan's turn. Spanish scientists, they create chimeras of humans and monkeys in China. They're doing a lot of bad things. This makes the Eternal Father angry. Now another new, but the first time they link human cells with chicken, and the chimera survives. A team of scientists in the University of Rockefeller in New York, United States of America, for the first time in history, they've achieved to link human cells, artificial human cells, with chicken cells. Through the chimera developed a second nervous system and penal structure. This is abominable, brothers. They are creating demons. Let's go to the next one. They create hybrids of monkey and pork in a Chinese laboratory. Yahshua HaMashiach rebuked that. And I wanted to close the images because they are diabolic. Now, this is the Strait of Hormuz. 30% of the oil goes through this. That is consumed in the world every day. This is the Persian Gulf. And here's the Gulf of Oman. And it is a strait. Ships has to go from here, from Kuwait. That's what Iraq conquered, to say like that, in the 80s with Saddam Hussein. So ships has to go like this, like this, like this. And here is 30 kilometers in its tightest place. And very important oil ships go through it, and they go out to the Gulf of Oman. So this is the Strait of Hormuz, and practically all of this zone the eclipse is going to be there. Brothers, the Eternal Father is perfect. He is beautiful, and we're going to see, because or maybe someone might say, but how is it possible? Do you believe that eclipses announce something? Yes, of course they do. In Genesis 1:14, we saw that the Eternal Father made the light and the moon as signs. So the Eternal Father of December 26, 2019 Gregorian years is going to go through all of these. And then it goes down into India and all of the other countries. So remember, an example, the solar eclipse of August 21st, 2017. You remember that eclipse went through the United States. And the United States, they're one of the countries that are more divided. They want to make a judgment to the President Donald Trump. I'm not against or approving that. It's not my thing to talk about that. But Democrats and Republicans are very divided. So we can see what happened with that solar eclipse of August 21st, 2017. Then the Irma hurricane, August 30th to September 15, 2017. It was a very powerful and catastrophic cyclone tropical storm, the strongest observed in the Atlantic Sea. Since the Hurricane Wilma in 2005, it was the most expensive hurricane of the Caribbean. A fifth category hurricane, it was the most intense hurricane that hit the United States since the Hurricane Katrina in 2005. So this is something to keep in mind because the eclipse was before it. After it, then the Hurricane Harvey that happened in August 2017 is considered as the strongest hurricane and with more damages that has landed on Earth in Texas as a big hurricane. It's been the first big torment hurricane since Wilma in 2005. But another one, the Hurricane Maria. It was a storm that devastated Dominicana, the Virgin Islands of the United States, and also Puerto Rico, that also is part of the United States, in September 2017. Brothers from the United States visited us during those days, and they were telling they were talking with some people that they know in Puerto Rico, and it was a disaster. It's considered the worst natural disaster registered in those islands and the most deadliest hurricane in the Atlantic since Jane in 2004. Now, the solar eclipse, July the 2nd, 2019. We had the chance of being streaming it live with many comments that you can see there in the YouTube channel Shalom 132. We're going to see what happened. I'm going to read carefully. The total place that it went through, it was 11,252 kilometers from east to west to east, starting in the morning, going to the south of the Pacific, and it was moving. Then it went to Chile, finishing in Punta Rasa and at the extreme of Rio de la Plata. It can be seen partially in a very huge zone in the South of America. There were earthquakes in Ecuador, Peru, and Chile. It's not something that we have to talk about, but there were problems in Ecuador, Chile, without a doubt, including the Pacific Islands, Bolivia, everything that has happened, Paraguay, Colombia, without words, in Bogota, and also there in other parts with many brothers are there, Argentina, the crisis that is happening there, and Venezuela, without saying anything else. So eclipses say something. This is not astrology, this is Bible, and of course, we study astronomy as well. For example, the president of Peru dissolves the parliament in a shock with the Fujimorista opposition. Protests keep going in Bolivia. More than 17,000 people went to jail in the month of protests in Chile and Bogota as well. So we are praying a lot for the brothers that are there in all of these countries, the Keilot from GMPs that are there. The solar eclipse, the one that is coming, of December 26, 2019, is this zone. It's going to be visible in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Oman, India, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, the Mariana Islands of North and Guam. Iran threatens Israel. This regimen has to be erased from the worldwide geography. It's just as if you read Psalm 83, beloved brother, beloved sister. The Katz says, for Israel to attack Iran is still being an option. Remember Jeremiah 49, brother. And these are declarations of December 8 of this year, 2019. Here are the declarations of the Minister of Relationships of Israel Katz to attack Iran before they have a nuclear weapon. It's very probable, as I said at the beginning of this administration, that they might have now a nuclear weapon, but they don't want to use it because that would be their own destruction. But that they have weapons, they have a lot of weapons. Let's remember that Russia has an alliance with Iran. That's why Och, Magog, Mesech, and all of that goes into. This is already ministered. Look, this is important. Look, pay attention. How was the attack of Iran to the oil installations of Saudi Arabia, and why the United States was the real objective? The real objective was to attack places of the United States there in Saudi Arabia. But they hit Saudi Arabia, not the United States. The United States has military bases in many countries, including Saudi Arabia. And of course, they're interested in oil. So this is heating up everything. So, and the Eternal Father is allowing this. So all of his prophecies can be fulfilled. The prophecies that he said through his prophets. The alliance in between the Turkey president and Iran against Saudi Arabia. The president of Turkey is also very important in this. But right now, the total center is in Iran. Iran threatens with a total war if they are attacked by the United States or Saudi Arabia. Remember, Saudi Arabia, by now, they have an alliance with North America. The Strait of Hormuz, practically 16,008 million gallons of oil go through it. Is something unbelievable what they produce of oil. The 30% of the petrol, of oil, that is consumed every day in the world, brothers, in the world. So the fact, indeed, in the war of the oil, in Iran and in Iraq, they destroyed a big amount of ships. There's information that sometimes, or in that time, we didn't have, but now it's easier because we have faster internet. Here we can see the strait and the gulfs. So remember, here, for example, these are places of Saudi Arabia, but this is the strait. This is the strait, and all of these countries have oil. So, brothers, we are about to start living completely prophetic moments now about the recession. Germany avoids the recession by the minimum with a high of the PIB in the third trimester. These are very recent news, brothers. These are the countries about to go into recession towards 2020. Attention. The United States has stayed strong, but other big economies face recessions. Argentina, Mexico, and Brazil, etc. Now, Hong Kong, Germany, this is the list. United Kingdom, China, Turkey, Argentina, Iran is very important, Mexico, and Brazil. So we're going to turn on all lights, beloved to Him. We put up the screen. Blessed is your name, Abba Kadosh. So we can see how the eclipses, they truly announce what's coming. And this eclipse of December 26, without a doubt, is saying that something very hard is coming. Many can say, well, I'm going to go into the table. Blessed is the name of the Abba Kadosh. Many might say, well, that's very far away. It's not something that will get to us. But, well, I want to say this, that certainly is going to affect the whole world. The whole world. That's why I invite you to pray, not because of fear, but in faith in Yahshua HaMashiach. You that you're in the covenants, remember, keep holiness, because very strong judgments are coming. Violence is higher every day. There is no army or police, none of those things that can stop violence the way is happening now. Nothing. That's in the Bible. It's in Revelation. People think that putting more police or more army here and there, the violence is going to stop. No, according to the Bible, no, it's not. The only hope is to have the refuge in Yahshua HaMashiach, in the Almighty. I'm going to be clear. You knew Him as Jesus Christ, but truly His name is Joshua, because Shua means salvation, so He saves. He saves from danger. He saves from a lot of things. He even saves your marriage. He saves your economy. He saves your health in first place. Salvation, first and foremost. So, to believe in Joshua and to mention his true name and to be ready and to not have fear. I would like to contagion you for those that are afraid. I would like to contagion you my faith, to have a total faith in the eternal Father, that He is not going to leave you without water, without bread, without milk for your children, that nothing's going to happen. But I can't do that. I can't tell you who can give you that faith. The one that makes your faith grow is Joshua. The disciples said to Joshua, increase your faith. A man said, I believe, but increase my faith. Well, if you don't believe that much, we can pray right now. And everyone, even though we have a lot of faith and we have to have even more to have trust and that He's going to do things. Now, certainly, and I was saying to some brothers a while ago, there's going to be many videos about this eclipse, but they talk about it in an astronomical way, or maybe just to some countries. But no, the problem here is worldwide because of the characteristics that the eclipse is going to have. Where the eclipse is, things happen there. We just show that, not because of pride, no. So you can see that the Eternal Father is never wrong. He's not a liar. He's not a man to lie. He put the sun and the moon as signs, as lights. And this eclipse of December 26th is a sign that something very hard is coming. I invite you to put your hands like this and let me pray for you. Everlasting Father, Abba Kadosh, Everlasting Father Joshua, we are here, Abba, showing everything that's going to happen with this eclipse, showing what your word says in Jeremiah 49, in verses 36 to 49, putting everything in order, Abba Kadosh, thanks to your Ruach HaKodesh, to your Holy Spirit. I ask you for my brothers, so they don't leave, Abba Kadosh, your holy Torah. May they keep going. May they don't go neither to the right or to the left. Just like you say in your word that we have to go straight to the end. I ask you for those that are new. May they not be afraid. May you minister through your holy Ruach HaKodesh, your Holy Spirit, your holy Ruach HaKodesh, everything that's coming. May they not be afraid. May they go close to you, blessed Yahshua HaMashiach. Because we clearly read in Psalm 91 that the one that abides at the talit, at the cover of the Most High, they will dwell there forever. There's no problem. And that you put away all the enemies and all dangers and all plagues, Abba. Because you are great, blessed Yahweh Tzebaoth. Everlasting Father, may through this video, many believe in you, blessed Yahshua HaMashiach, and may they proclaim your word that is truth, your holy Torah. May they keep holiness, the Shabbat, your holy feasts, and may they always do it with happiness, because it's a commandment that we have to be happy when we keep your holy feasts. Thank you so much, Soda Rabbi Yahshua HaMashiach. Amen. Amen. This is the message, clear message from heaven. It can't be any clearer. May the Eternal Father bless you and keep you beloved to Him, and we see each other this Friday, 15 minutes before 6 p.m. Mexico Central Time. Shalom, brothers, and share this.